Well, actually, something that I wanted to bring up was so the last time, I think it was last week, there near the end, there was a concern that one of your, I'll call them guests, had a concern about where a woman is divorced and then having to sleep with another man before being able to go back to her husband. And then you had one of your gladiators named Uthman who said that that's not in Islam, and that is in Islam. And so,
No,
I mean,
no,
I wanted to address that.
No, it's not.
Christian, the claim that was made by whoever made that claim was the idea that if you divorced a woman, she had to have sex with an imam before he could remarry her. That was the claim the guy made.
Oh, okay. Well, just another man. I mean, pull out the imam.
No.
It's like divorce like 3 times, and then you have to sleep with another man before you can go and become
So if you
the first husband's. Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, if that was true, there would be a lot more imams in our community.
Ignore the imam. I'm just talking about the divorcing the woman, and then she having to sleep with another man before she goes back.
No. She doesn't have to sleep with another man. She needs to be married.
Well, that's not according to your prophet.
What?
What are you talking about?
Well, so you admit it's there in the Quran, right?
No,
it's not in the Quran.
My God, this is
chapter 2, verse 230.
Okay, read it for us. What does it say? What does it say that a woman, if she's divorced,
if he divorces her,
that she has to sleep with another man?
All right, chapter 2, verse 230. If he divorces her, she shall not be lawful for him again until she has married another husband.
Oh, she's what?
If the latter,
until she's what?
She's married to another husband.
Right, exactly. So you said, you said, first of all, just one step at a time. You said that you're trying to make it look like somehow in Islam, a woman is divorced, now she has to sleep with another man. That's what you said. Very disrespectfully. Yes. That's not what it is. Now, when you quoted the ayah, it says marry. Now, in Islam, marriage is protection, right? That means she's married to this man. That means she gets to inherit him. Listen to me carefully, my brother. Inherit him, takes his name, right? His last name, if she wants. That's mas'ala khilafiyya, but anyways. And has children with him, and there are rights over him and over her, etc. So she has an actual marriage. And this was made to protect the woman, so she won't be basically man cannot just come and just divorce his woman. He has to think twice about it, because there is a law and there's regulations that if you reach a certain level, you can't just use divorce like some sort of joke, because you can. No, you have to be careful, because this woman you love, your wife, we got into an argument with whatever, you can't divorce her. If you divorce her 3 times, she'll have to marry another man. Again, it's legal, all right? And she gets to inherit that man and all. And until some divorce happen, then you can get her back. So to protect the woman, right? This ruling is happening. So the man now has to think twice. Like, wait a second. If I can just keep throwing this word, this woman is not going to be mine anymore. She has to marry another man. So actually, this is to help the woman. Do you get the point?
It's evil.
This has probably prevented a lot of divorces, because not just think twice. Think about it. A man who loves his wife, who has any feelings whatsoever for his wife, is gonna think this over 10 times, 100 times. Like, if I divorce her, that final 3rd time, that means that's it. She has to move on. She has to marry someone else
before she comes back. Right.
No, that's not the point. The point is not.
It doesn't matter what the point is. The point is that the Quran allows that, and it's evil.
Christian, just one step out.
Why is it evil?
We're just having a dialogue. Just relax, Christian.
Are you okay with your wife sleeping with another man?
No, she's not your wife anymore. If you divorced her, she's not your wife.
She can come back.
Yeah, she's divorced.
You're misunderstanding it.
Right, which is evil.
Yeah, she can be your wife in the future, but she's not your wife if you've divorced her. She's not your wife.
Oh, Christian.
So Islam allows divorce.
It's the exact opposite that's in the Bible.
Listen, Christian.
It's the exact opposite.
Christian, you can't get divorced in the Bible.
Well, exactly, he has a point. Yeah, no, he has a point. You're right. If the wife is being harassed by the husband, if she's being beaten by the husband, if she's being raped, if the husband is a drunkard, if he's an alcoholic, if he's a drug addict, you're quite right. According to Gospel of Mark, I believe it is, she still can't divorce him for any of those reasons. So you're quite right. I think Islam does stand apart on that issue from Christianity. Please continue.
Okay, well. Okay, but see, you're making the assertion that at one point in time that she didn't have to sleep with him, but that's not according to the hadith. So last time you kicked me out for discussing Ibn Abbas, and you didn't want me to actually like quote from him the explanation of the Quran. Fine, I'll go to the hadith now. So the hadith says that she has to sleep with him.
Christian,
it's marriage.
Have you not listened to anything that's been said to you?
No, I've listened, and I believe it's evil. And I'm saying that what's saying is not necessarily accurate or being shown entirely.
Christian, I'm just going to explain it to you, and you can explain it to me how it's evil. Okay. So a man knows that if he divorces his wife, yeah, he can't get her back. He can't like change his mind and say, okay, let's get back together again. He knows that she has to move on and get married and marry somebody else. And if that marriage doesn't work, then he's permissible to approach her again for marriage. Yeah? Now you tell me what's evil about that.
Well, in my belief, it's directly the opposite of what's in the Bible.
I'm interested in your nonsense belief. I want to know what's evil about it.
A woman sleeping with another man is not right.
His wife.
The man she's sleeping with is her husband.
I wasn't around last week, but I can understand why.
So you're okay with passing women around?
If you're gonna, I can understand why you would have been kicked, because if you're gonna gloss over everything that the brothers have just explained to you and keep on using your language analysis,
you're okay
that
with
your wife is
passing
sleeping with
women
some other
around.
man.
Christian,
is that accurate?
How is that passing women around?
Just wait, Christian, wait.
I have a wife, and now I'm gonna get rid of her,
Christian, calm down.
Another man can sleep with her,
understand,
and then I can have her back.
Christian,
we understand one thing. Don't you understand?
Just 1 second. Yeah. We understand as a Christian, you don't understand the concept of divorce. We know that. So we understand why you're worrying to get your pretty little head around it, yeah? But it is permissible in Islam that if two people who are married no longer wish to be married, it is facilitated that they can part ways. Now, what happens even in the non-religious land, people break up and then get back together. So they break up, they miss each other, and they come back together. Yeah? But in Islam, you should know if somebody, 1 second, if somebody acts in contempt with his wife and just thinks, I've divorced you, he needs to know that if he divorces her for the third time with the third talaq, he cannot choose to remarry her, even if they want to. Right. So I understand you don't understand the concept of divorce. In Islam, divorce is permitted, but understand one thing: if you divorce your wife and the 3 months pass and you're divorced, you cannot take her back, and she cannot take you back unless you're married again. How is that passing women around?
How is it not passing women around?
Okay. This is just honestly, Christian. I'm actually questioning your intellect right now, because you're either trolling, honestly, or you're either like completely like you need the books or some sort of.
Well, I'm actually kind of curious to divorce this into two parts, pun intended, right? So the first part is: do you have a problem with divorce? Is it divorce that is evil? Divorce by itself, I mean. Is divorce always evil?
So Jesus said that except for the cause of fornication.
Okay. So now, in other words, if there's fornication involved, if one of the partners committed adultery, in that case, divorce can be done. Is that correct?
So a man cannot remarry unless for the cause of fornication in Christianity.
Yeah, I got you. So in other words, if one of the married partners committed adultery, that is a valid case for divorce in Christianity. Am I correct? They could divorce in that situation? Okay. All right. Thank you.
According to Jesus,
thank you.
A man can divorce his wife for the cause of fornication and remarry.
Okay. Thank you. So the wife, the now divorced lady could remarry a new husband.
No, that would be adultery.
So she can never marry.
No, for fornication. They've divorced for fornication.
For the cause of adultery.
Right. If the woman remarries, it is adultery.
Even if her husband cheated on her and committed adultery.
No. I'm using the example: a husband divorces his wife. If there's a remarriage, Okay.
No. Stick to the point what Sadat said. He said, if a woman or a husband fornicate and this is one reason in Christianity you can get divorced legitimately, yes?
A man cannot divorce his wife and remarry, except for the cause of fornication.
All right.
That's
So
why I said that in the case, that's why I made it clear that in the case of adultery, if one of these married partners have cheated, divorce is allowed in this case. You agreed with me. The second part you got stuck. Now that they've divorced and you agree that they're allowed to divorce in this situation because there was adultery involved, now can both of them remarry other partners? Can she marry a new husband and can he marry a new wife?
No, if a wife is divorced, she cannot remarry. It is adultery.
Even for adultery, even if the husband's adulterous.
Well, if you can provide me scripture that says otherwise.
Okay, so there's no way a wife can. So if a wife is divorced in Christianity, she can never get married again.
If a man divorces his wife, he can. Okay, so let's ignore the adultery part. Okay, if a man divorces his wife, he's not allowed to remarry. If he does, it's adultery. The woman can also not marry. If she marries, it's adultery.
Why? Like, what did she do? So if
that's evil.
What kind of oppressive ideology is this? That a woman hasn't done anything.
Because marriage is sacred.
One moment, please. Just listen to me, please. Just think with me, Christian, please. Like, what is this? Like, a woman hasn't done anything. She's married to a guy who.
That's not necessarily true. So let's not go there.
Do you mind just finish my sentence, Christian? Thanks.
Well, I have a problem with false statements.
I know. I haven't even.
The false statement is put in. I have issues with it.
I haven't even finished my sentence. If you don't mind, I just want to make a sentence. Thanks. So a woman hasn't done anything, right? She happened to marry a guy who's turned to be alcoholic or or whatever addiction or something or abusive. All right. Okay, fine. There was no like fornication outside marriage, like you said, and then he divorced her. So now this woman. All right, this 32-year-old woman, 28-year-old woman, 25, 39, 40, whatever it is, she's doomed to live single the rest of her life because her man or her ex-man decided to divorce her. Is that what you're saying in Christianity?
Well, so there's going to be you'll find a bunch of people who will argue this, and so it's a question of can you support that happening?
That's not what I'm asking you.
We're asking you in this scenario.
Scenario. A woman hasn't done anything.
The guy's a drug addict or whatever. Yeah, finds a younger model. His wife's getting old now, so he decides to marry a younger thing, or he wants to marry this younger thing. So he gets rid of his old wife so he can marry this younger thing. Can the old wife, who's been divorced for nothing she's done apart from getting old, can she get remarried?
Well, I would ask for you to find support where she can.
Huh?
I think he's given his answer. I mean, I think he's understood the question and said no. And I think we should pause here just for a moment to emphasize that if you think about it, this is actually evil, right? This is actually evil, that a lady is divorced for no fault of her own, but because there's not scriptural authority, according to him, for her to remarry, she basically has to become a celibate nun now for the rest of her life. That to me is evil. Or even the fact that divorce cannot be allowed except for adultery. In my opinion, there's many other good reasons for divorce. For example, the father is sexually molesting the daughter. The father is sexually molesting or raping the son, saying, God forbid. So
it's in not this situation, saying that she can't leave. There is actually where she can leave. You can do that. Then but you're talking about remarrying.
Yes, I am talking about remarrying.
And marriage is sacred.
Exactly.
Marriage is sacred.
Exactly. We agree that she can leave, but she can't remarry. So she is forced to become a celibate nun for the rest of her life. That to me is oppression. That to me is evil. And I'm surprised if you can't see the oppression in that. Like, God forbid, your daughter, God forbid, 20 years old, 25 years old, right? Her husband ends up being a drug addict or some kind of sexual pervert who's harassing the children. She separates from him. Good idea. Physically separate from him. But now what? She has to go back to this drug addict, or can she divorce and remarry? According to you, she can't divorce. She can't remarry. 20 years old, 25 years old, she has to become essentially a celibate nun for the rest of her life. If you were the father, you wouldn't see that as oppression? You wouldn't see that as unethical, unfair, oppressive towards her? I'm surprised.
I consider marriage to be sacred. And so the concept of passing a woman around, I mean, you're okay with it in Islam. I am not okay with passing women around.
Okay,
well, so you're okay with oppressing women, yeah?
This is cheap polemics. This is cheap polemics. I can respond by saying that you're okay with a man beating up his wife. She can't divorce him. You're all right with a man being a drug addict. She can't divorce him. You're all right.
No, but if I didn't say that, and that's not.
It's exactly.
If I were to resort to the same level of cheap polemics that you're resorting to, then I could say that.
She can leave.
Christian, do you believe that women have rights to marry someone they like?
Yeah, why?
Okay. Do you believe that divorced woman, her marriage didn't work out, she has the right also to have a family again with someone else? Do you believe that women should have a second chance to remarry again? Yes or no?
I personally think that people should take marriage seriously, as it is sacred.
That's not what I'm asking you. I agree with you. People should take marriage seriously 100%. But in case...
Well, then I go back to Islam and I say, why don't y'all take it seriously?
Hold on. You're running away from the topic. It's so obvious and clear that everyone who's watching this right now could see it. I'm asking you directly. I'm telling you right now, do women have rights? Do they have the right to remarry and start a family again with someone else in case their first marriage didn't work out? Do you think it's logical that they should have a second chance, or no? It's very simple.
Well, I'm not sure in what society you're referring to. Are you saying like according to scriptures?
In any society.
No. Societies have different laws and such. And so you can say that yes, they have this right, and they do have this right, and they can go do it. But it doesn't mean that it's right.
Christian,
does that make sense?
We're trying to see whether Christianity is
Christian teachings. It's marriage is sacred. A man and a woman become one flesh. It's sacred. Don't pass women around.
What if it doesn't work out? Calm down, my friend. Calm down. What if it doesn't work out?
Again, I need like a scenario.
Okay,
so
here's a scenario.
Five scenarios. Father beating the daughter, abusing the daughter, beating the wife, alcoholic, drug addict, sleeping with women. What more scenarios can we paint for you?
I simply don't see something sacred about that whole arrangement, to be honest with you. You can call
it
sacred.
You don't find marriage sacred?
Now I'm using the extreme example, of course, that the father, i.e. the husband of the wife, is a drug addict. He's a porn addict. He could be a gang member. He's sexually harassing the children. But because this has the stamp of sacred on it, this woman can never divorce him. In fact, there is actually one way that she can divorce him. Notice this. If she were to go out and cheat on him...
It's not that she can't leave. It's not
understand this point.
That's not the question. You're talking about remarriage. There's a difference here.
Yeah, but understand this one point. This woman who's being oppressed, who is imprisoned in this marriage, right? The one way she can actually get out, according to Gospel of Matthew, according to you, is if she were to go out and cheat on the husband. Now that the cause of fornication is there, now that adultery is there.
No. You misunderstand. You misunderstand. I'm not saying she can't leave. She can leave. If you have this horrible situation, she can leave.
Just, it's all right. Fine, Christian, just stop. Look. Just want to say this.
You can find that in 1 Corinthians. I think it's chapter.
Christian,
it's chapter 7. Yes, she can leave.
Christian, one second.
Question of can she remarry?
1 second, Christian. We're not talking again. See, it's not fair. You're not being fair here. We're not asking you about whether she can leave or not. We've discussed that already. My question to you was, does she have a right?
No, that is what was being discussed.
1 second. Christian, listen to me.
Divorce.
Christian.
And I'm saying that she can leave.
Christian.
And do what? Leave and do what?
Leave and become a celibate
nun. She have sex outside of marriage.
She cannot remarry. She cannot have a normal sexual life. She cannot have a natural family life. So yes, she can leave and essentially become a celibate nun. Ironically, Christian, here's the thing. You keep on referring to this language of women being passed around and this and that.
Yes.
This is happening in the Western non-Muslim societies all around. This is happening all the time. And I actually blame the impractical nature and the strict interpretation of Christianity by people like you for this liberalized, hypersexualized society that we now live in. Because what you are saying is so impractical and so oppressive. People can't live by that. People don't want to live by that. And they have rebelled and gone to the opposite extreme of the hypersexualized society where women are passed around, where women
which is against what God planned for marriage. Right. It's wrong.
So the woman leaves for this abusive relationship. What can she do?
What do you mean?
Can she have sex with another man?
No, that would be adultery.
All right. So she can't have children with another man.
Well, does she already have children, or are you creating the scenario where she marries this
scenario she
horrible
doesn't have
guy
children.
because of
I'll
some
create the scenario she doesn't have
bad
children.
reason? Huh?
She's got married to this guy. She didn't realize how violent he was, abusive, beat her up, and so she left after 6 months of
Right.
marriage. And she's got no children. You're saying to me she now has to go through life childless because of Christianity?
Well, unless she wants to commit adultery.
What's the punishment for adultery in Christianity?
Leave that to God.
Okay, so is it a big sin, adultery?
Yes.
Notice that these Christian rules have created the conditions in which fornication and adultery would be a very viable and a very attractive option for many people. And once having created the problem of fornication and adultery, there's no punishment, there's no remedy, there's nothing to deal with it. Think about what a big problem this is. I really would love for a Christian woman to come on and give her perspective.
Christian?
I really would.
Christian, don't you think that's evil? Forcing this poor young 21-year-old woman to go through her life without a man, without children, because her partner was abusive and she just happened to be a Christian.
Wow.
Well, I think it's a very sad situation.
Don't you think it's evil?
Definitely. No, I wouldn't say that the situation is evil. No.
Fair?
Well, the poor 21-year-old woman going through life without kids and no
That's
man.
very sad and
It's
you could
evil.
say depressing
It's
and
evil.
deplorable. Yeah.
Is it
It's
fair?
evil.
Is it fair? Is it fair? You think? Was God fair to make that? Was a Christian concept of God or whatever the ruling was? Is that? Do you think it's fair? Be honest now. Is that fair for the woman?
Is it fair for the woman?
Is it fair for a woman, a 30-year-old woman, 40-year-old woman, 27-year-old woman that got divorced, not her fault? Now she has to live the rest of her life single and not be able to practice whatever physiologically she needs to practice as a woman through marriage.
When you say needs to practice.
Yeah, because we have needs. We're human beings. I don't know if you're aware of that, but we do. We're human beings. That's why we have partners in life.
Are you married, Christian?
Well, actually, my wife divorced me.
So you can't get remarried?
Oh, no. So she abandoned me.
Sorry,
you
man.
can't get remarried, though, can you?
This guy's going through a lot.
No, I am not to seek a wife. That is what the scripture says.
So you can't get remarried now? Because it'd be adultery.
No, I can get remarried, but I am not to seek a wife. So it makes it very difficult.
I thought you can't because you...
Sounds like a double standard to me. I
really
don't get it.
Yes, it is a double standard.
So,
did she sleep around on you?
what is the double standard? What is the double standard?
Well, the double standard in the scripture is that since she abandoned me,
abandoned you is different from committing adultery, right?
Was you married?
Correct.
Was you married?
Okay.
What?
So according to Matthew, except for the cause of adultery, not except for the cause of her abandoning you, her not being nice to you, but except for the cause of adultery, you cannot remarry. You cannot divorce and remarry. Am I correct? So
I cannot. Right. I am not.
If she's abandoned you, that means whether you seek a wife or some lady seeks you out, you cannot remarry.
No, you have to go look at 1 Corinthians chapter 7. It refers to me being loose.
Okay.
Huh?
Can you get remarried?
I am not to seek. Art thou bound unto the wife? Do not seek to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Do not seek a wife. So I am not to seek a wife. And if you have married, you have not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned.
Can you married? Can you get remarried?
Yes.
Did your missus cheat on you?
That's a good question. I don't believe she did.
So if she didn't cheat on you, there's no fornication. Why can you get remarried? I thought you can't. It's adultery, isn't it?
Because I'm loosed.
But see, brothers, like
woman was made from man. Do you agree with that?
So you're saying right. So if you abandon, so if you abandon her,
I am not allowed to remarry.
If you abandon her.
Correct. Except for the cause of fornication. Right. If I abandon her, I am not allowed to remarry. If I remarry, I commit adultery. Right. I am in the wrong.
Is she allowed to get remarried?
No.
But you are. You're abandoned. You've been thrown to the curb. You can get remarried. You throw her to the curb. She can't get remarried.
Correct. But I can't remarry if I throw her to the curb either.
What is this? Why would anybody, let's be honest now, Christian, why would anybody wants to adopt such belief and go through such miserable and awful, with all due respect to you, and an unbelievably unfair way of life? Why would any woman on earth wants to have this? Why would any man, like, let's say you were married and your woman, this is, she didn't commit fornication outside, she's trying to kill you. You literally call this woman having a knife, is trying to, like, stab you, and you caught her, and you divorced her. So and now let's say you're 27 years old. Okay, your wife's trying to kill you. She's I don't know, she got something going on. She's not right up there, and then you divorced her. So now you're not gonna get married?
Correct.
Do you have children?
No.
I think in addition to just dissecting and criticizing his
we
stance,
don't want to do it that way, but he's made us.
Yeah, right. No, but I'm saying in addition to dissecting and explaining why we find that to be wrong and impractical, unethical, even oppressive, I've said, again, it's good to clarify for those people who are just joining the live stream right now. Perhaps there's some ladies, there's Christian women watching this, just to be clear that in Islam, if the wife
You're
is
right.
being
In Islam, you can be passed around.
Please,
You can
allow
go to
me.
this man, you can go to that man.
Please allow me. If the woman is being beaten up by the husband, if the children are being sexually harassed by the father, or molested or raped by the father, if the husband is an alcoholic who is not providing even for the wife and for the children, if he's a drug addict, this is a valid grounds for divorce in Islam. That woman has a way out. There is a possibility of a new life for her in Islam, but according to our Christian guest here, in Christianity, no, she cannot remarry, and she cannot have a new husband. She cannot have a new family life. So just want to explain that Islam does actually propose a solution to this problem.
And the irony is, he's calling our solution evil.
Evil.
Well, I see your oppression of women. I'm not. No, I'm going to say it. I see your oppression of women as evil.
And not only that, but as
isn't
much
Christianity says they have to marry their rapist and stuff like that?
Yeah. See, one extreme leads to another. So the thing is, one extreme leads to another. So when you make marriage into this kind of almost an object of worship, almost for him, right? When you make it like that, you actually kind of make the parameters. You make marriage into such a small box that nobody can fit into it. So I can understand why in the West, why Christians and former Christians generally are turned off by marriage, because marriage is a very difficult thing. It's an oppressive, misogynist institution. This is what people have in their minds. This is what non-Muslims have in their minds. And we're saying that no, it doesn't have to be that way. You do have to try your best, but sometimes things won't work out. Sometimes things won't work out.
John,
is Christian married? Are you married, Christian, by any chance?
Not anymore.
No, his missus abandoned him.
What happened? Why did she abandon you?
Oh, sorry, muted. 1 second. Sorry, Christian, you're muted. Go on.
Well, I don't really want to talk about my.
It's personal. That's fine. Don't worry about it. That's cool.
No, but I would like to dig a bit deeper with that, because it seems like there's some issues there, and maybe Islam has a solution for, something that's happened to you.
No, thank you.
Seems like
I personally think that marriage is sacred, and Islam, it's not sacred.
Is your wife a Christian?
Oh, this guy's like.
Was your wife a Christian?
She claimed to be.
Did she used to iron your shirts?
I'd like you to stay out of my private life. Thank you very much.
Okay, fair enough.
I think the issue here.
So what are the conditions for marriage in the Christian religion? What are the conditions for marriage that make a marriage permissible?
You're supposed to be Christian.
Okay, yeah, but like what makes an official legal marriage under Christianity?
No, well, in Christianity, it has to be, you become one flesh, and so it's sacred. You are one flesh, and so the husband is supposed to treat his wife as his own body.
Yeah, I understand about treating your wife like that, but what makes the marriage a legal marriage under Christianity? What are the conditions of marriage in order for the marriage to be legal?
Well, you're using the word legal. So there's a difference between the culture and Christianity. You're talking about Christianity. I don't know what you mean by legal.
Christianity.
So you marry, you have sex, and you are one flesh.
Okay,
So she
yeah,
has to
but
be a virgin.
before sex, you have to do a few things, right? Like, for instance, under Islam, you have the guardian will give the woman away and make sure that the husband is a good man, and then there's also a mahar. There's a wedding gift, and then there's also witnesses. If these things are not taken place in Islam, then the marriage is not a legal marriage in the sight of God. So I'm asking you, under Christianity, what are the conditions of marriage? And if you don't know, then how are we expected to even take your understanding of Islamic marriage and divorce when you don't even know your own religion?
All I have to do is quote the Quran.
Hey?
No, but I'm asking you about Christianity. What are the conditions of marriage under Christianity?
No, it has to do with them coming together as one flesh. They are one flesh.
Okay. So how does that happen?
You could say sexual intercourse.
So if you have sexual intercourse with someone, you're married.
Right. In the sight of God, you are one flesh, yes. Which is one of the problems that we see in society, and I would include Islam, is that people have sex with all sorts of different people, and so women are being passed around or whatever it is, having different husbands, and it's a mess.
So
in
just
Christianity, it's sacred. You have one wife.
So just for argument's sake.
You have a wife, and you are one flesh with them.
So, Christian, for argument's sake, listen, for argument's sake, if you go to the nightclub and you find a woman and you have sex with her, are you married then?
Well, I think that would actually be that would be considered like lewdness or something. I mean, assuming that you're not going to take her as your wife, you're just call it a one-night stand or whatever it is. If you do that sort of thing, you're not supposed to do this.
No, but see, this is the problem. Let me just say something, Christian. This is why I left Christianity, because the Bible is not a valid basis of belief, and it has no guidance. You have absolutely no guidance on how to live your life, how to get married, how to get divorced.
No. Give an example. What are you talking about when you say it has no guidance?
The things that you're picking on in Islam are actually detailed solutions to marriage and divorce. It protects both the man and the woman.
A woman to marry another man, have sex with him, and then come back to you. It is evil. It is an abomination to God.
What in your mind are you thinking she has sex with another man? What, you think she goes out sex with the guy and then she can come back to you?
That's what it says in the Quran, chapter 2, verse 230.
No,
you can't possibly be this. You can't possibly. You
go read it yourself. It's right there, chapter 2, verse 230.
Christian. Yeah, we know exactly what it's talking about.
You can't be this bad, man.
You have sex with another man, and now she can come back to the first husband.
No,
that's wrong. It's an abomination to God.
What it means is, I'm going to say it one time, and if you don't get it, it's pointless. All right, I'll say it again to you. Let's just say you divorce your wife, and after 3 months, you're divorced, you're separated. Okay? Yeah? At that point, she is not legal for you to marry. Yeah? You can't approach her for marriage. She's out of bounds for marriage. Okay. Unless she remarries, and that relationship doesn't work out, and she's divorced again, only then is it permissible for you to approach her, to propose to her again, to marry again.
Right. And that is in direct opposition to the Bible.
Let's understand one thing. In Islam, you can't get married just for a temporary fix for something. You has to be a full-fledged marriage. The intention is to get married and live together and be husband and wife. But sometimes things don't work out. Just as for you, things didn't work out. Okay, so just imagine things don't work out. Then your wife, your ex-wife, should I say, and if you want to try to ask her to marry you again,
did she become a Muslim
or whatever, then you're entitled to approach her. Okay, but imagine the scenario. She might get remarried, and this guy might treat her like a queen, and you're never getting her back because she's never going to leave that guy. That's the risk you take. So, subhanAllah,
Exactly.
you ask any man if he thinks of his wife having sex with another man, and that will happen if he divorces her and he wants her back.
Never divorce
Oh, subhanAllah, trust me, your marriages, that thought saves.
But it allows it.
It is actually for any sincere individual.
No, it allows the woman to move on with her life.
No,
Brother,
it allows the woman to come back to the first husband. And what I'm saying is that is in direct opposition to the Bible. And it's an abomination to God.
Marriage contract.
Can you remarry your wife?
A new marriage contract would have to take place.
Let me just ask him a second. Can you remarry your wife?
In what scenario? Did she have sex with another man?
She may have.
She went
Then
to
no.
She went to dinner with another man. What?
No.
She married to him.
Wait, what?
You're asking?
Did she have sex with another man?
She's married. I
am not permitted to marry her. That is an abomination to take her back.
Where does it say that?
No. Deuteronomy chapter 24, verses 1 through 4.
You go into Deuteronomy?
Yeah.
Do you follow the Old Testament laws? Do you eat pig?
Can we just highlight brother?
One second, Khalil. Do you eat pig? Do you eat pork?
Well, I stay away from it.
Can you eat it as a Christian?
Can you eat it as a Muslim?
No. Can you eat it?
Yes, you can.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can. Go read it. It allows you to.
No, it doesn't. Unless we're dying of hunger.
Too. Yeah, see, there you go. You're allowed to.
If I'm dying of hunger, yes. But I'm asking you, as a Christian, can you eat pork?
Can you as a Muslim?
I'm asking you as a Christian, can you eat pork?
You can't use his special case. Look, you can't use a special case.
Don't worry about that. I'm not going to fall for his red herring. I'm not falling for his red herring. Can you eat pork as a Christian?
Sure.
What happened to the laws of the Old Testament you were grabbing for?
Well, isn't it in the Quran where Jesus abrogated stuff?
Forget the Quran.
No, why do you have a problem with that?
Around in Deuteronomy.
If your Quran says that Jesus allows it, what's your problem?
You're scraping the barrel of Deuteronomy, right? So all of a sudden, now you're picking and choosing the Old Testament laws. Do you think
also
you should be stoned?
He's definitely picking and choosing, because the same passage in Deuteronomy that he's referring to, that same passage says in Deuteronomy chapter 24 says that if the man has found some kind of uncleanliness in the wife, all he has to do is write a divorce note, a divorce letter, and she's divorced. And there's no restrictions on her, like marrying some other man now. So using his language, is this a woman being passed around? I mean, because, the second husband could also find something unclean in her and write a divorce note to her and divorce her. Now she goes and marries a third man. So by his own standards, is this a woman being passed around? Is that what the God of the Old Testament allowed? So yes, he's being inconsistent. And I think that he's picking and choosing from the Old Testament.
You think I'm being inconsistent?
Do you believe a woman
that's your
should marry her rapist?
I've given my reasons for why.
Do you believe a woman should have to marry her rapist?
I think there's a...
What?
The Old Testament says a woman needs to marry her rapist. Do you believe that?
Well, what do you mean by that?
Okay, so if a rapist rapes a woman, he has to marry her.
Right. I think there's a judgment based upon his actions.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to go read the law, but go ask a Jew. But I mean, it's spelled out saying that if this occurs, then there is a judgment based upon this.
Do you believe that?
Okay, so that is one way by which you can enter into a holy sacrament, basically, according to the Old Testament. If you rape a woman, now she is obliged to marry you, and you are obliged to marry her, and now you've created what? A holy sacrament? Is that right?
What do you mean?
What would happen?
We're being very clear. According to the Old
Christian's
Testament.
ex-wife.
Well, I mean, you're bringing up rape, but I mean, rape's in the Quran. So I mean,
okay. Hold on. So Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28 to 29.
That's it. It
says, if a man meets a virgin, all right, if a man meets a virgin who is not betrothed and seizes her and lies with her, and they are found, then the man who lay with her shall give to the father of the young woman 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife. Because he has violated her, he may not divorce her, all his days. So now,
Right.
not only she has to marry her rapist, she's stuck with him for life, and he can't divorce her.
Right.
And
So the
Khalil,
two have become one flesh, and so there's a punishment for the man for his actions upon this woman.
With the rapist, right?
And Khalil, I'm thinking, what if she was gang raped, right? What if she was raped by three men? Now what?
I never thought about that. That's what, subhanAllah.
Flip a coin? I mean, what happens now?
What a mess. What do you do then?
You should have left Deuteronomy alone.
Well, I think there may be a different punishment for that. There may be a punishment of death for that.
Christian, that was a big mistake. You shouldn't have gone to the Old Testament, man. You dug a hole for yourself.
I'm not worried about the Old Testament. I mean, you just read it. It spells out the law.
You brought it up.
You brought the Old Testament out. You brought Deuteronomy into the play.
No, I'm okay with the Old Testament. It doesn't bother me. It spells it out, but you have to go and read it. You can't just take pieces of it.
Just to understand the scenario.
But I mean, you brought up rape. What about rape in the Quran?
I'll tell you why.
Right. So in the Quran, if you're allowed to rape someone, even adultery, you're allowed to rape. You rape someone whom has a husband.
Stop deflecting.
Christian, talking nonsense. Okay.
I'm not talking nonsense. It's in your Quran.
Talking about Deuteronomy right
whom
now.
your right hand possesses, even if they have a husband.
Christian,
it's adultery. It's adultery.
Hamza, can I just like maybe I'll take a break. Christian, look, Christian. We can talk about the Quran all you want. Right now, your homework, your task is to tell us about Deuteronomy, right? Chapter 22, verse 29. What I just read for you. Is it okay for you? Do you think it's fair for someone who got raped to be stuck with her rapist for life? What's your take on that as a Christian, as a sincere, good Christian who gives charity, goes to the world, evangelize people, and spread the gospel? Fairness to the women. Do you think that's fair?
Well, I'm just telling you, I believe that marriage is sacred.
That's not what I'm asking you. You're killing us today with this sacred.
That is my opinion. The two have become one flesh, and it is sacred, and they should stay together.
That you're not answering the question. You're not answering the question. I'll repeat the question once again. Do you think it's fair for you as a good Christian, sincere one, goes to the world, evangelize people, preach the word, gospel? Do you think it's fair for a woman who was raped to be forced to marry her rapist and live with him, traumatized of what he did to her, and she can't divorce? Do you think that's fair? Is that moral to you? Answer the question, please.
I'm just saying, in the Quran, it allows rape and it allows adultery.
See how you deflect? This is very embarrassing.
Just get rid of him. I just got rid of him. I can't be doing with this.
I can't believe this.
And this is the problem, party people. Christians watching in the chat. This is where your religion takes you. Wow. This is where it takes you.
I mean, just imagine that verse being given to high school boys, infatuated, with a girl in their science class and all that. If you rape her, guess what? You're obliged to marry her. Well, gee, I'm happy to oblige, right? I mean, you understand?
That's insane.
Yeah, it's very strange. Yeah.
So if someone who's psychiatrically disturbed,
to him, that.
Go ahead, John.
According to him, you're automatically married if you rape her, because intercourse has taken place.
Yeah.
You don't have to propose. You don't have to propose. You don't have to impress her. You don't have to do anything. So basically, this is teaching. Christianity teaches, or Old Testament, they still believe it. They carry half of the book, right? That if you have a crush on someone in high school, all right, and you're a psychopath, you're a crazy, one of those people that have a basement and collect things and weird things, all you need to do is actually follow this young lady, rape her, and she's yours. This is unbelievable. Allah, it's crazy.
Anyway, Glenn Raj Adam, I think, is a Christian. I don't think it's going to last long, but we shall see. Yes, Glenn.
Hey, I've been waiting for a long time. I have a question. In Quran 1886.
Glenn, let me just stop you 1 second. Hamza, Maroon. Hamza, you didn't understand this case where he should marry another. This case talks about a man who told his wife he would divorce me 3 times. I know, I said it.